Hello, hello, hello. Back live again. Probably a little bit. Well, I don't know what time I'm gonna do it, but I'll do the hinge thing, the other hinge one. But right now, the topic is avoiding STDs. And I'm gonna kind of wait a bit to see if anybody pops in the channel on the channel. Let's see. Top messages. So remove all. Can I make a background? Oh. Short. Alright. This is not really, I guess it's a story time, but it's a life event that had occurred for me. I'm not going to name their name. I'm not going to say who they are. But I'm going to tell what happened. And if y'all want proof, then that's more of I can give you pictures, but at that point, I'm going to blur out faces and probably blur out the location in which they are at, because I would make it public because this person, well, anyway, let me tell you the story and you'll see why I'm so iffy about either maybe not, well, saying what I just said. Anyway, the story begins like this. I met somebody some months back, and pretty much it was a black girl. Now, I hear tons of stories about black females saying the dudes that they get with end up having STDs or HIV. And surprisingly, like I said back then, it's surprising how many dudes will get with females, or will get with attractive females who have these things and say nothing. And how easy it is for attractive females to get dudes, even when they have it themselves. But it's funny how a dude who doesn't have an STD, no permanent STD, no HIV, that may not be as attractive, we're treated almost like we're a person with an STD. Nobody wants to then really fuck with us, but we don't even have one. We don't have nothing, but we're treated as if we do. And it's like, motherfucker. But anyway, I'm gonna say this is I met a girl. I'm gonna not say her name, but I'm gonna call her Tiffany. We're gonna give her nickname of Tiffany. It's not Tiffany, but nickname of Tiffany. I met her when I was at a park. We talked for a while, and me trying to get an understanding. Hey, are you interested in what I want to do as for a relationship, and where my end goal, that where I want to be, as for being in a relationship. At first she was like iffy, like I don't know, not really, I'd like to be your friend. And I was like, cool, but that's not really what I'm looking for. So we continued to just chat. The following day we talked again at the park again, just talking about random stuff. She wanted to know my situation, which Can you play Forsaken on Roblox? I don't play Roblox, sorry. And Brooks Connor, I don't know why you said bye. But anyway, she tried to basically, well, we were talking, having a conversation, and ultimately I'm trying to figure out, hey, is this gonna be a thing, and would you like to make this work and whatnot? And she proceeded to kind of like, well, we can be friends, it's cool. But I had told her my situation, and she was willing to invite me over to her place on the first day. And I was like, wow. Then then on the second day, I kind of talked to her, and she still tried to invite me to her place on the second day. And then at this point, I'm really, really feeling her. And I'm like, on the third day, I didn't want to go to her place. So I was like, hey, we can continue to meet at the park and talk and try to figure out things, blah, blah, blah. Sorry, I'm about to call. Ew. Sorry. Let me pause that real quick. Y'all don't want to hear that. So we began to talk, right? And so, thus, during this conversation that we're having, I'm starting to see some, not see, but hear red flags, because some of the storyline in which she gave me about her background and what she's doing, and her potential work history and all this other stuff is starting to not really add up. But by all means, because hell, I haven't been able to pretty much get with a female for quite some time. I'm just like, hey, I'm gonna be open to continue to talk to see, hey, maybe there's some redeeming qualities, blah blah blah, this and that. So I continue to keep it in a talkative sense. But now I have red flags. Now the second week has came up. The second week in which we then start to talk again, and she's starting to feel more comfortable. She's starting to blah blah blah, and I'm at a situation where I'm like, okay, um, this is something that is, uh, like I said, questionable, because I'm like, man, for the first time, I'm getting the opportunity to be with an attractive female who's also young. She was in her 20s, and I was like, wow, this is great. And I'm like, this is great. And maybe I lucked out or something like that. But, and so then I started thinking of all these things. Why this? Is she has she advanced in her life, blah blah blah, this and that? I'm starting to ask these questions. I can't be too specific because I don't want to give out any information that might, blah blah blah. But anyway, um, at this instant, she ends up having like a situation in which she had to go to something to potentially get something new, and she proceeds to ask me if I could return to the park. This is the place in which we meet most often, and just talk, because at this point I'm trying to figure her out, but in a short time period, because I don't want to waste a lot of time. If it takes over damn near, now I've realized that if it takes damn over uh, two 2 days to see if this female is interested in me and wants to move and advance to a relationship, once we established uh, our mindsets and then where our end goals are, then it's like, okay, if you don't want to continue on from there and start a relationship, then I'm kind of like, it's time for me to bounce, because at that point I'm just wasting time. A lot of dating nowadays is the whole casual situationship. A whole individual came on my live before and said your riz is off. Well, the reason why there's so fucking fucked up relationships nowadays is because y'all just trying to do casual rizzing and doing all this other bullshit instead of trying to find out the major things that you're looking for and want during the first beginning, the first time you meet. And then from there, working out and us having, well, I have a whole little situation where I have my own mindset about system in which I'm working on that will work a lot better than what is currently out there and going on. But anyway, back to the story is that um, she's like, I'll meet you back at the park later on tonight. And I was like, okay, we don't really have much else to do when we're going to the park later on tonight. I don't want to go outside because the mosquitoes are going to be biting you up outside. And I just want to kind of, at that point, you only could be sitting in the car and talking. So, what else would you be able to do when you're in the car talking? And since that park is known, a lot of parks, they be having sex out in their parking lots. Y'all, if y'all haven't peeped that game, a lot of individuals be going out to parking lots and having sex out there. But she ends up wanting to go back there to potentially do something like this, and I'm not going to tell you what led up to her wanting to do this, but that's what she wanted to do. And instead, I mean, once I told her, hey, I'm leaving, I gotta go somewhere. And so I didn't end up going back to the park. And I am glad that I didn't. The following week, the third week, um, later on, as I talked to her and kept talking to her, she then reveals that she has HIV, or, the HSV1. And I'm like, what? And she said this like casually as if it was nothing. She was like, um, everybody has HSV1, herpes simplex virus type 1. And I'm like, no, everybody doesn't have that type of virus. Literally, she was saying 80%. Well, if it's 80%, then I'm that 20% that doesn't have it. And I proceeded to say, hey, I'm willing to show you my test records, because I had got tested. Following year, I haven't had sex for over a year. And so, yeah, and still counting. But I had said, no, I don't have that. But when I realized this whole situation is that she was willing to have sex with me without disclosing that she had HSV1. She did not tell me she was going to have sex with me, and then probably afterwards then tell me. And I'm like, motherfucker, do you not realize what you're saying right now? The fact that you're telling me after the fact, and the second week, that was the third week, the second week being that you wanted to have uh, sexual intercourse or sexual interaction with me, told me that you didn't care to tell me that you had something that is considered contagious. This stuff is contagious. As for the person, I wonder if you're the same person, but you keep jumping in and out. Is that something on your connection, or are you just doing that deliberately? Let's see. All right, so you're just doing that deliberately. But yeah, so by all means, my whole thing is yeah, you're doing it deliberately because you just, I don't care if I have anybody viewing it, but say something, tune in. Do you have bad connection? What's up? Anyway, my thing is for men out there, black men out there, always, I would say, even present the question. I know the ones of you who do have it, y'all probably won't, but present the question. Hey, do you have any STDs? Blah blah blah. Present that question off bat, off root. So then, if she says, uh, if she says she doesn't want to talk any further, or she then says, hey, well, let's just be friends, that means she got something going on. That's what it literally means. So, by all means, if you have any female who avoids, and vice versa for the females out there, you got any males who avoid wanting to show you an STD results or whatnot or anything, then by all means, now you can either say, hey, especially if you're in a situation where you're trying to make a relationship, you're trying to get involved, or you're just trying to have sex with them or whatnot, ask it. And nowadays, you can damn near pull that information up on your fucking email or through your whatever place you go and get tested at. So you can pull it up and get that from there. But yeah, anyway, uh, that's it for me. I always say check because just like the Alexander Pope, for those who of you don't know, it's a white dude who had a bunch of different STDs who damn near infected over 700 black females, probably in the thousands, over 700 black females, ranging from minors to adult, and he was able to continue to do so, and black women didn't say nothing, didn't care until it got to that ridiculous number. And his whole intent from doing that was so that these black females can go out and then spread it to black men. So if you wonder why black men out there got it, well, there you go. And for black men out there who don't have it, by all means, I know she may look good, she may look delicious, blah, blah, blah on the outside, but for your own safety, unless you just don't give a fuck, asked, hey, uh, can I know a little bit about your, sexual relationship history or whatnot? Do you have any, anything going on down there? And most likely, if they do, what they'll proceed to do is they'll either say they'll avoid that topic, or if you're kind of trying to court them, then what they'll proceed to do is then say, hey, how about we just be friends? They'll put the whole friend thing on you and just want to be your friend. So at that point, now you know that they got something. Either it be permanent or not permanent. They either got something, and if it's not permanent, then they'll be like, hey, sometime later down the line, they might then present that whole topic back to you and then like showing you the medical records or some shit like that. So just be mindful of that. But by all means, if they avoid it or just say, hey, I'm not ready, let's just be friends, let's talk, then most likely they got something. And it may be permanent, it may not be permanent, but they got something. And thus, hey, do you continue dealing with this person or do you kind of go your own way type? But yeah, that's about it. So just to put some a male's perspective, a black male's perspective, for when trying to get with black females. And yes, she was a black female, and no, that wasn't her name, but I'm not going to give out her actual name. And maybe some other time I'll give out the state and the location in which I was. And then when I went to the state, I didn't realize what the stats were on this location, but I was like, dang, wow. And thus, now I know why so many people are in this location who have it. Literally, I went to a, now for y'all who may know this, uh, like I said, I'm from Cali. And in this state and location, I was surprised because in their libraries, they literally have whole testing little kit things. So for any of y'all who have states that have something like that, it may be your state that I'm talking about. But I'll say it in maybe another video. And I'm like, wow. So yeah. Anyway, stay up on avoiding getting STD or HIV because it is out there, and a lot of females as well. We ain't gonna just put it on males, but a lot of females and males who have these things don't say anything. And if you want to know if they got something, pretty much do like I said, ask them. If it's starting to get in a serious type courting situation, they want to have a relationship with you, and then they want to have sexual interactions with you, then at that point, before the sexual interactions happen, say, hey, can I see your medical records? I mean, people should have been doing stuff like this for years now, but everybody's in that moment of casual sex and situationships and whatnot. So it's best just to kind of be like, hey, I know this may, for dudes, like, I know this may break the mood or whatnot, but can I get your medical records? Or can I get your sexually transmitted, your testing medical records? And and of course nowadays you don't really have to go and wait, blah blah blah. Some, they, like I said, I was surprised that they had a whole vending machine for testing for these things out in that state that I went to. And some, I mean, you gotta go to your doctor, do an appointment, but you'll get the results. You don't have to go back to the doctor. You'll get your results online if you have an online type hospital or whatever whoever is your medical uh, care provider. But yeah, that's about it. And I'll probably allow this one to be up on YouTube. The other ones about the hinge dating, I'm gonna put those up, but I do have to edit a few things. So yeah, peace.